Good afternoon, everybody. My presentation is on marijuana, interestingly enough, because it's become such a critical topic in today's culture, and we have to decide if, as business people, we should sell to marijuana growers and encourage the drug trade, or if we should maybe not sell and keep our company values. Yeah, it's a growing issue because of a lot of states legalizing it. And now our president has come out and said we might start cracking down on this again. So let's jump right back into this case. Now specifically, now specifically in this case, it is one company. Jacob is the assistant controller, and he's in the accounting department, and they make specialized farming equipment that increases yield for farmers. So a Colorado farmer is coming to this company and says, hey, I want to buy this great equipment you guys have and increase my yield, because growing more of anything is always better. And the sales team is, yeah, let's do this. Let's get more sales. Our stockholders will love it because they're going to get more returns. And the accounting and production people are like, whoa, 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 that's against our company values, and we don't want to do that. So as this goes on, we have to think about why this is important to the company. The salespeople are like, well, if I don't get to do this, I'm not going to be happy because I'm not going to get as good commissions. And our stockholders aren't going to be happy because they're not going to get as good returns as they could be getting. And the accounting and production people are saying, this is against our company values. And if we can't uphold our company values, then what really is important for our company? Now, this disagreement within the company is always going to be concerning to stockholders in general, because you want the whole company to be on the same page when it goes out into the world. And lastly, this is really important to the company because their loyal customers may not want to be doing business with a company that is supplying equipment to what they consider drug dealers. Now, I would claim that under the current company values and federal law, the company should not sell equipment to the drug trade, but should consider at a later date, when federal law matches state law, that they should sell to these marijuana growers. So our assumptions are going to be that the federal law still prohibits, and you can't sell it under federal law. And since federal law trumps state law, that we should not be doing this business. It's illegal still. Our company values are in opposition to selling drugs and being a participant with this illegal activity. We can very easily see that if you're going to be doing this shady activity, that you could be potentially up to more federal audits, and the tax people are always going to be coming in and wanting to audit your books. We have to hold that our company values are important, and there's a good reason why we have them, and we can't just be changing them willy-nilly just because we want more sales. And then I think a good assumption also is that our current customers don't want us to be selling to the drug trade. So how I see it is we have three options. We can sell to the drug trade now. We can sell to the drug trade later, which is what I would recommend for this company, or we can never sell to the drug trade. So I think the pros of selling to the drug trade later, when it becomes completely legal under the federal law, is that there's no concern about penalties of participating in this illegal activity. It's going to be a huge market. You can already see in 2010, a medical marijuana dispensary was the third largest taxpayer in Oakland. So it's a huge market going forward. If it's legal nationally, the national perspective may have changed on marijuana, and that marijuana might not be considered this terrible drug as we have seen this done with alcohol currently, because alcohol is no longer seen as this terrible drug trade. It's just commonplace. And I think another pro with doing it later is you're not going to have that federal audits coming towards you. The cons of doing it later is you're kind of late to the party, right? You're wanting to sell this equipment, and they're like, hey, we already got this equipment from other people. We don't need it from you now. You kind of came late to the party, man. You could have come with us when it was legal in our state. I think that's a kind of weak con because, like we said, the huge market. This is going to be an explosion in market, and a lot of people are going to be needing to buy equipment. So I don't think you need to worry about being late to the party. There is the con of missing out on current sales. Your salespeople aren't going to be happy about that, but it is an illegal activity and our company values are opposed to it. So in the short term, the accounting people and the production people may be happy with this, but it being open-ended, they are probably not going to be happy. They don't want to be like, hey, I don't want to have to worry about going against our company values later in time. But I think that later on they'll be, okay, the whole national perspective's changed. It's not seen as this bad drug. It's no longer against our company values. So I think that they'll be okay in the long term, but they may not be happy with the short-term outcome. Now, the salespeople are definitely going to be upset in the short term because they're missing out on commissions. And I wouldn't worry about that because if it is going to be legal federally, it probably is going to happen within the next 5 years. And there's no reason to really worry about 5 years of sales, I would say. Now, the pros of doing it now, which is the option that the salespeople want to go with, is there's increased sales. The state law says it's okay, so why can't we do it now is a good reason. Stockholders will be happy with increased returns. And those are all good reasons to do it now. It's not terrible reasons, but it's just still illegal federally, and there's a lot of cons that outweigh this. It's against our company values. The federal law says it's illegal, so it could be outlawed anytime. This is the whole thing of when Trump said it was illegal a couple months back. A lot of people were freaking out, like, is the FBI going to start getting involved? Are they going to be cracking down and coming and doing raids? And that's a completely good concern. And if that would happen now, you would have the concern of, okay, we have lost some of our current customers because they aren't in support of the drug companies. And the drug companies that we replaced it with, they're gone too because they just went to prison because they were doing this illegal activity, which we're also a part of. And the accounting and production people would probably be very annoyed with this decision because it's against the company values completely. And you're going to lose some of those people are going to be like, I don't want to be anywhere near an illegal activity, so I'm going to go work for somebody else. I'm going to give my resources to them, and that will likely be a competitor of yours. Now, a never option, it seems reasonable. It is against company values, so you're upholding the company values by never participating in the drug trade. You don't have to have any concern about the law changing on you because the law is not going to change to be like you have to sell to these drug farmers. And then you have the benefit that you can come out as a company, hey, we're against drugs, period. And a lot of your customers, I would say in the farm industry, are probably going to be for that. And excuse me. I think that will really come out as a benefit, that people aren't going to be like, hey, these people are selling to drug dealers. And being against that is always going to be better in the long term. The cons are lower sales. Your stockholders may leave because you're not getting the best return possible. Definitely if it's fully legal in the future. Competitors will get a higher market share because they're going to be selling to these drug companies, and they'll be researching into R&D, and they'll make better equipment, and eventually they'll take over the majority market share, and might even take some of your current customers, unless they really value your position of being against drugs. And then the sales will definitely be annoyed, and you'll probably lose several good salespeople because they're going to want their commissions, and they'll go to your competitors with a higher market share. Now, the rebuttals are going to look a lot like the now and never pro column, because you're going to have dissatisfaction with both groups if you do it later, which is what I would recommend in the short term. In the long term, everybody would probably be okay or content because the salespeople are going to start getting their commissions, and the accounting and production people will see that the stakeholders are okay with it in general, that there's not a real big concern over marijuana being a legal substance. It'll be viewed like alcohol. So it wouldn't be as against company values. So that also covers bullet point 3, saying that company values are important, because the company values are going to be shared with the stakeholders' values. Also, in the short term, if you choose not to act on it, you could still lose some salespeople because they are going to want their commissions, and it's in the foreseeable future, but not a definite occurrence. So the state law might be good enough for some salespeople. And the sales being increased right now is... Oh, and then the last one that the salespeople might bring up is marijuana is going to be legal soon anyways. Why not get to work now? Why can't we be getting our equipment up to specifications of what it would produce the best yield for them as well? And if it's going to be legal soon anyways, we don't need to worry about having these increased audits for a couple of years. The sales are going to outweigh the costs. And that's why I think when it is legal federally, it is a better time to enter the market, because there's going to be more farmers, and you don't need to worry about being late to the party. And there's going to be plenty of opportunity later rather than now, where there's still only a few states, like 9 to 13 states, are legalizing marijuana fully. So there's only... In conclusion, I would wait for it to be legal. The company values are important. The market is going to be very big, and the company values should match stakeholder values. So that's kind of how I see it, is you want the company and the stakeholders and the stockholders and everybody inside it to be happy. In the short term, that's not going to happen. Not everybody's going to be happy, because you can't have sales be increased for marijuana products and be against marijuana entirely. But in the future, we should see that this is probably going to be a federally legal thing, and it's not going to be an illegal trade anymore. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the lost sales now, and you'll regain, and your consumers will appreciate you not participating in this illegal activity as they would see it.